Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the next update call for our community round investors. We just, again, can't thank you guys enough for being here. We brought a few thousand more dollars in investment since our last discussion, which has been great to see. Like we've said before, every dollar that we are able to raise via crowdfunding gives us that much more momentum to grow and develop our product, and it's working. We're since our last call. I think when we spoke to you guys a month ago, we were somewhere around the low 70s, maybe higher 60s in our sellers on the platform. We're over 80 now and growing. We're getting leads all the time, which is exciting. And just so you guys know, one of the things that because we've been doing this long enough and because of your backing and the momentum we've built, we're now finding ourselves in a really great position to have conversations for investment from multiple potential parties that we align really well with. And the common message that comes up with these groups that are now interested in backing and helping drive this forward is from the farm's ability to bring in producers. The reality is, in almost every industry, your industry that you're in, the aggregators are the ones that are controlling, right? And so we're doing that we're doing the same thing, but our aggregation model, as you guys know, is different. It's instead of us, the corporation, aggregating the product, controlling the product, and leaving the producers out to pasture, pun intended. Our model is no, let's make them the featured people, make our producers the focal point, aggregate actual producers, and connect customers directly. That's a complete change in the model. It's more difficult, frankly. It would be much easier for us to build a white label company that we buy and acquire the product, put our own label on, control all of the quality control metrics in terms of shipping and product, those kinds of things. That's easier for a brand, but it doesn't help us accomplish the mission, which is we need more producers. And the only way we get more producers in our country is if they can make it work profitably. So our model of aggregation in the format that we're doing, it makes sense. I heard a quote a long time ago: in the beginning, everybody thinks you're nuts, and then they think you're a genius. And I got to tell you, like when Brooke and I first started talking about this, the amount of pushback that it was just too big and not possible, and the complications were so vast that you're not going to overcome it. Well, 5 years later, because we ignored that bad advice in the beginning, we're now the people they want to talk to. So we're seeing really great momentum with our producers onboarding and people now interested in finding ways to help elevate our mission. Even people that aren't people that are in ag, that their mission or even their nonprofit is designed to help our producers, they're now coming and finding us, seeking ways for us to get involved in their projects to support what they're doing, because we're one of the few people that took on this challenge of building a marketplace. And so one company, for example, their whole model is to build television programming to promote small farms, not for their own marketplace, but that's their nonprofit's goal, is to promote and develop the success of small farms. Well, what's missing for them, which is what we built, is a place to send people. It's one thing to highlight a farm and just share all these individual farms that people may or may not go and find. But if they can drive traffic, customers, to one platform that all of their farms are represented on, that's the ecosystem that we're building. And so we're getting all of these new interests that align well, that we can start participating with. So that's good news for all of us. Your investment, the return on that is how fast we grow. So these conversations we're having are going to help accelerate our growth, which will ultimately help accelerate the return on your investment. Our goal is your investments returned in 5 years at the most. That's our goal. A 5-year doubling your money in 5 years is a pretty great investment, which is what we're working towards to help you guys receive. And these collaborations really help accelerate that momentum. So, we are seeing in customer purchases, those aren't where we would like them to be. We've been putting all of our energy into software development and software improvement. So we are now just getting ready to start implementing marketing campaigns that are geo-targeted in specific areas where our producers are. So we're working on all of that on the back end with our marketing team. while also continuing to promote our WeFunder campaign through the end of that. So if you guys are interested in increasing your investment, we would love to have your support there. We're a little over. Yeah, got the hiccups again.
Yeah, they happen at the best times.
Always on these. Of course, I'm on video calls all day, so it's gonna happen. But uh, yeah. So if you guys want to increase your investment, we'd love to have you. We're over almost. I think we just crossed 320,000 raised. We'd love to close this out at least at 500,000. So some of you have emailed us expressing that interest, and maybe with some of these new conversations that we are sharing with you, you're finding more confidence in what we're doing. If you're interested in investing more and it's a larger sum, feel free to email me and schedule a time. Let's get on a call and I'll share a little bit more details to help you make those decisions. Let's see. What else? We do have plans to invite our producers into our future investor calls with you guys, just so you can meet some of them, ask them questions. Maybe you meet a new producer that you want to buy from. So our invitation is always use the platform. Even if you don't do a complete checkout process, use it, give us feedback, let us know what your experience is as we continue to make these improvements. We've rolled out a lot of software updates. Our team is working really well. We have a small team, but they're delivering a lot of product improvements and features consistently. So we're really happy with that. Some highlights on that. You have the ability to communicate in-app directly with your farmer and rancher versus having to call them or email them. You can now simply go to their farm. There's a chat bubble in the bottom that'll help. Some things we're working on in terms of marketing is we're really leaning into helping customers understand buying in bulk. For example, in beef, buying quarter, halves, and wholes. That does a lot of things for the platform and for this ecosystem as a whole. One, the more we develop tools to make buying quarter, halves, and wholes easier, specifically on the education side. For example, if you've never heard of a cut sheet, that's essentially your order form when you're buying a beef. How do you want those cut? Do you want steaks inch and a half, 2 inch? Do you want, do you want your roast to be in ground beef, or would you prefer your roasts and not so much ground beef? Like, that's what a cut sheet is. So leaning into building tools to help educate customers on that will go a long way, because you, the customer, can save money if you buy bulk. But if you don't know the terminology, you don't know how to do that, that makes it more difficult. So we're building out a lot of features and focus around educating consumers on how to buy bulk. That also happens to help our producers more. Producers can move volume much easier than they can smaller quantities. So if you buy 100 pounds at a time, that's way easier for the producer than to hold on to it and sell it in 10-pound increments or smaller. We do have producers that do that, and we have a lot of customers that prefer the a la carte sort of option. But there's a huge community out there of consumers that are just not aware of the opportunities and the benefits in buying in bulk. So we're leaning into that as well. Brooke or Brigham, do you guys have anything that you'd like to add?
You pretty much covered it.
Cool.
I mean,
Yeah.
same as always, super grateful for the investment and for, anytime you give any amount of money to something, you want to know that it's going where you want it to go, which is to the cause, right? Which is exactly what it's for. And it's even better and much easier to invest into something when you believe in the people that are leading the charge. So it says a lot to have, over 300 people kind of commit to this with us. And there's a lot of really good stuff just around the corner. We're just got to, get over this little hump, and some decisions to be made. And it really is like only up from here. Like, it's just going to start getting, we're already so busy, but it's just going to start getting busier and busier, but it's going to be able to make big moves at a time, especially once we feel really confident in the level our tech is at. And all the feedback you guys are willing to give us. And if you're willing to take the time just to, like AJ said, go through the process, you don't have to do a full checkout. I mean, although our producers would love it if you also were giving us some feedback on product. and giving some of that feedback to the producers, because that's what it's for too. Everyone here is we're here to do better, get better, better customer service, better logistics, better quality, the whole gambit of the experience of purchasing directly from your producer. And I mean, that's what it's for.
Yeah.
We appreciate any amount of feedback, because that is the only way you get better. So
Yeah.
no matter how harsh, if you got some feedback, you're like, oh, it's kind of harsh though, and I don't really want to send it. No, send it.
That's what we want to hear.
The harsher, the
Yes.
better.
Yeah. 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 It's like in the beginning, it was the harsh comments that gave us the most value, because that's
Yes.
where we're like, okay, we really got to solve that issue. Because, they were people that were very direct, like, how are you going to do this? There's no way you can do that. That gave us the ability to say, okay, here's a focal point that we need to put some energy in. And so your direct feedback is not offensive. It's like, okay, cool. That part sucked. Let's make that better.
When there's so many things that we on our own, even just like things that we want to do, things that we plan to do, right? That we've figured out, whatever. But when there's things that we need to do, like fixing bugs in tech, it's like we have to triage every day of like, what is the most important thing? Where do we get the most value out of our time spent on something? We got to fix this. Even if like it's something that's not super, sexy, or it's not going to be something that everyone's going to notice, if it has to do with maybe a bug through the website and just through like a checkout process. Well, we could skip over that in order to do more branding or more marketing and run in that direction. But then what happens is if we skip over these little bugs or the things in the tech, they're going to come back to bite us in the ass down the road. And so again, we really appreciate your support in allowing us. And I'm going to assume that you all understand the importance of this process and these more detailed nuances of getting our tech up and running and making it be something that we can really feel like we can set it and forget it for a minute.
Yeah.
Be very confident in that. And we are getting closer and closer to that position. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll add to what Brooke said too with your investment. Some of these offers coming our way, they include acquisition, which we're not interested in. And your investments allowed us to have that, to be able to take that stance. And while what they're offering could be really valuable for us, it's that long-term concern that whoever's pulling the strings all of a sudden change this and convert it back to what we're working against. So your guys' investments, what really allows us to keep that momentum going and be able to say no to those people, which is not easy to do. I mean, if any of you guys are involved in startups or know anything about business, it's always about capital in the beginning. It's always about capital to give you the runway to get to where you're going. And this crowdfunding has been a major blessing for us, because it's given us so much of a runway that we haven't had to worry about selling out the vision, because we won't. And so it's been huge. So we appreciate you guys for that. We've got our couple of things to catch up with you guys on. So we're still working on your perks. We've got the shirts ordered. They're in the process now. They'll get here. We'll get everything aggregated and send it out. For those of you that have beef boxes, it's a little bit more of a logistical challenge than we anticipated. Part of the challenge is I can't just order your beef box for you and send it to you, because you might not be home. So those orders are going to come from Utah beef producers. We've already acquired them. Now we're just working out the logistics to be able to let you go on and place the order. They ship all across the nation, so you can go on, place your order for when you'll be home. And it's typically a week from the day you order it, right? Now, if you order on a Sunday, they will fulfill on Monday and Tuesday. So you'll get it by that weekend, just to give you a context. They ship Monday, Tuesday, which means it's there by the weekend. The other piece that we're trying to work out is we don't want you to pay for shipping. You've already invested. That's part of the deal. So we're just working some technical logistics out to be able to give you the link to go place your order, to then place that order without having anything else out of pocket. So we're working on all that. But as far as the shirts and the hats, those are on order coming in. We are going to send all of those out as soon as everything is in, which is just the shirts and the hats. I've already got the snack sticks for you guys that have the perks for that. we just want to send it all at once. The beef boxes are completely separate, so we won't have to wait for those to get you guys your shirts and your hats. If you did not respond to the questionnaire, your shirts have already been ordered. We basically just said whatever the largest number of people that confirmed, that's the size you're going to get. So y'all are going to get larges on your shirts, and I'll surprise you on the hat. But our hats are all great. So I think that's it. I don't think I have anything else to catch you guys up on. We don't mean for these to take a whole hour. They only take as long as questions. We don't have any questions, so we're going to just assume that y'all are super stoked to be here, and we're keeping you updated as much as you'd like. Support at fromthefarm.org is always available for you to send information, questions, or any comments. So with that, thank you guys for being here. We look forward to continuing to serve you and working together.
Thank you.
Brigham, are you good? You didn't have anything.
Yeah, no, that was a good wrap up. I didn't want to mess up that wrap up, but
no, it was good.
Gratitude for being a part of the team and working with each of you as investors. And I think you each did a great job of acknowledging that. We are very grateful. Contributing capital is an incredible piece of momentum for any startup like this. And, we get the privilege of contributing our time and energy and focus, and each of you do in different ways to improve our food security here. So it's a great project to work on.
Perfect. Awesome. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.
Thank you.